Coffee Chat Squad? It's your girl Maggie here on Thursday, February 7th, 2019, and welcome to a very special, surprising Coffee Chat Live. Coffee Chat is a safe, inclusive community in which millennials, recent grads, young adults can come to learn all about how to become a fully active, capable adult. But I didn't come alone today, you guys. Today, I have a very special guest with me, and my guest is going to come on. They're going to talk about their story and how you can uncover parts of your story. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring on my guest. His name is Matthew J. Evans. Welcome to Coffee Chat Live. Let me see. Okay, I'll send you a view. Go live. Okay. Let's see. Hi, Matt.
Hey, Maggie. Thanks for having me on the program.
Thank you for being here. It is so exciting to have you and to see you again. How's it
Good
going?
to see you as well. I'm good, thank you. How about yourself?
I'm doing really well. It's so good to see you. So good to have you here. And I have to say that February, for those of you who don't know, on the Coffee Chat Live, is Your Story Month. And when I graduated college, one thing that we were talking about a lot my senior year, the last semester, was your story and uncovering parts of your story. So today I'm so excited to have you on because your story, Matt, is one of my favorites that I've had the honor and the privilege of hearing and seeing develop as our friendship has developed over the past 5 to 6 years. So without further ado, let's just get right down to business since, most of us are having our mid-afternoon coffees and tea. So let's just get down to business. Let's talk a little bit about your major at Lake Forest College. Why did you pick the major that you did, and why? How does that play a key role in your story?
Well, my story is kind of interesting. So I arrived at Lake Forest in the spring of 2011. Prior to that, I was taking classes at the community college closest to me, College Lake County. I was at their Grays Lake campus, and I took classes at South Lake as well. I got an Associate of Arts and Associate of Science while I was at College Lake County. What led me to Lake Forest was that they had a scholarship there, Lake Forest that is, had a scholarship, which was a half tuition, and they also had an Illinois scholarship, both of which I qualified for.
Right.
So I accepted those, and when I got to campus, or when I got to Lake Forest, I was studying sciences at first. I was really into that and fascinated by it. I was into like chemistry, biology, even some physics. I like math as well, so I was doing kind of like a science-math combination and settled originally on a biochemistry major. So that's when I entered spring 2011. Now, when fall 2011 happened, my mom, who was battling cancer at the time, she passed away in October of 2011. And so that put a lot of stress on me, on my studies, my life in general. So I had to take some time away from school. I spent about a week away and to deal with everything funeral and, everything like that. So when I came back, I kind of had this, I guess you could say maybe like a re-examination of life.
Right.
Basically where I thought about the science major and I thought, is this something I really want to do? And because I was doing very well in the classes, but it's like I sort of had a reality check with everything going on in my life. And I mean, with my mom gone and my dad had already passed away, I mean, I was an only child, so there was a lot happening. And so I thought, well, I like the sciences, but I don't know if I can really major in it. So what I decided to do was take on a business major. Prior to arriving at Lake Forest, I took some business classes. I took, I think there was an accounting class, marketing, or not marketing, I'm sorry. Marketing is what I took at Lake Forest. Accounting, there was an economics class, and they had business law. There were a couple others I took there as well. Those classes, thank goodness, transferred into Lake Forest, so I didn't have to take them again when I arrived on campus. So I studied business for the next 2.5 years. I had to take that extra semester because of the coursework that was required. Right. And so I graduated in May of 2014, but my classes, I completed all the classes in December of 2013. And so between December of 2013 and May of 2014, I didn't have anything going on. So at that time, I was kind of looking at what to do. And then I got my diploma when May 2014 rolled around, and that's the story of how I got my major.
Nice. So, talk to us a little bit about the importance of taking risks because my professor, Ben Tanzer at Lake Forest College, when I studied, he emphasized the importance of taking risks. So, can you talk to us a little bit about the importance risk taking has played in your life post academia?
Sure. Yeah, I think taking risks has been a huge thing for me, and it's been very beneficial. I mean, so to continue here, after I got my diploma, I was kind of thinking what I was going to do with my life and what the next step was going to be. And so I had a few options on the table. I thought of, well, stay in Chicago since it's home and the networks are here and I know people here.
Right.
Or maybe try something else just to get the experience. Now, an interesting side bit here, or side note here, while I was in college, I did a lot of theater. I was involved in community shows or community theater plays. Even prior to college, even high school, I was doing community theater, and I loved it so much. I just loved the shows. I loved the people. I loved just the atmosphere and getting to know everybody and the experience as well. So I thought, well, maybe this is something I want to do later in life. At the time when I was in high school, just starting college. Now, my mom, when she was still alive, she told me, you should focus on academics. You want to be doing this and that. And she didn't directly say you should not be doing theater and being involved in the entertainment industry. She just said, focus on school and try to get something in that field as far as a career. So I believe, from what I recall, she wanted me to be sort of on the medical researcher level. That really wasn't my interest. So after I graduated, I decided to head out to California. And the reason why I chose California is because I had some good family friends there that I had reconnected with after my mom's passing. I grew a strong bond with. They lived in Orange County. Yeah. So I decided to move out there to Orange County to be close to them and then pursue some opportunities there. And prior to my family friends there, I didn't really know anybody in Orange County. I didn't really have any connections. I mean, my aunt, she's in LA, but it's a far drive over there. Yes, so I decided to keep it local. And I ended up performing in community theater shows. I took a job as a tutor, a side job. And it was one of the best experiences, one of the best things I've ever done, because I've gotten a chance to meet people and to experience things that maybe I wouldn't have experienced in Chicago or living in Chicago. And it's one of those things, I look back on it a few years later and I go, you know what? As much as I miss Chicago, I think I needed this. Because when living here or living in Chicago, I was a little bit limited. I mean, dealing with my mother's cancer and her treatment and trying to be there for her while also going to school and doing the community theater play. That put a lot of pressure on me, and I couldn't really do much. And then after her passing and after me getting my degree, I thought, this is my post-collegiate life now, quote unquote. And this is a chance for me to try something else. Now, Chicago's always going to be there, and it's always an option if I ever wanted to go back. But It's like, I took on this idea of wanting to do new things and wanting to take a risk, as you mentioned. And I really recommend, if anybody can do it, if they have the time, if they have patience, because nothing's going to happen overnight. I really recommend doing that because it's going to help you so much.
And so when I graduated, similar to yours, I had a lot of opportunity available. It's like, do I relocate? Do I find a job in my field, etc.? What advice do you have for those listening today who may be a little intimidated or cautious about taking risks? What advice would you offer for that to help ease any sort of intimidation or hesitation that someone may have?
I would say write out your options, sort of do a pro and con thing. So, you get a piece of paper and you say, what are the benefits or what are the pros of me looking at a job elsewhere, moving elsewhere? What are the cons? And you sort of weigh your options and you think, well, is this going to work for me or not? Now, obviously, finances are going to have a lot to do with it because moving is expensive.
Yes.
I mean, the area where I lived in California, it's pricey.
Yes,
when you think Chicago was expensive, out there it was pretty bad. So luckily I was able to accommodate for that. But there's a lot of people out there who they get to a place or they think they're going to go somewhere, but it doesn't work out because they don't plan accordingly, either financially or mentally or even physically. You know, it's tough. I mean, the next chapter after college is a very tough time for people, and I mean, you've got to have everything planned accordingly, and you try to do the best that you can to adjust to whatever happens.
All right. So just kind of like be your own advocate and stand up for yourself, but yet don't limit yourself, correct?
Pretty much, yes. Okay. Another thing that I wanted to mention is try to seek advice from people. So, for example, you know, with my situation, prior to me moving out to California, I would ask my family friends, where are the best places to live? Where are the best opportunities for jobs? I thought of graduate school at the time I was out there. I asked them, where are the good graduate programs? And, you know, I would also ask them, do you know anybody who might be in this field that I could talk to? So definitely reach out to people that you know, and see if maybe they know somebody. I mean, there's a phrase that goes, it's always, what is it? It's always who you know.
Yes.
It's all about who you know.
I agree with you completely. And there's no shame in asking for help, correct?
Correct.
Right? Because, you know, networking is key. And in this day and age, as opposed to when our parents went to college and, you know, found employment, you know, back then it was all about your experience and your drive and your tenacity. However, now it's more about your connections and your network. Correct?
Yes, that is very correct. Yes.
Okay. So you mentioned that it's important to, you know, network and ask for help. Why do some people feel like it's not okay to ask for help? Why do they feel a little ashamed to ask for help? Does that make sense?
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, does the question make sense? Like, why do people feel a little intimidated to ask for help? Because I know when I first graduated, I was a deer in headlights, and like many of the Coffee Chat Squad members listening right now and later in the replay, they might be feeling the same feelings of trepidation and, you know, feeling guilty for asking for help. Given your background and the extensive, you know, networking and the positions that you've held and continue to hold in your life and in your roles, why do you think that people tend to feel a little uncomfortable asking for help? Because do you think that we're supposed to know exactly what we're supposed to do after graduation?
I don't think so. No, there's a lot of people who don't know what they're going to do, and they're not going to know for a long time after graduation. So it's hard. Like I said, it's hard to figure out what you're going to do once you graduate. Because there's not always some set plan, or maybe there is a plan, but it somehow doesn't work out, and so you're left with going with another plan, plan B, plan C, plan D, etc. So hopefully that answers what your question.
No, it does completely. And so for those of you who are just joining us, I have Matthew J. Evans here on Coffee Chat Live, and he is participating in the Your Story Month for Coffee Chat. And so the first block of postings for Coffee Chat for the Your Story is providing tips to uncover your story. So what helped you, Matt, uncover your story and your plan for life post-grad? What helped you really see who you are, what you want to do, so that it can help other people listening right now?
I think it was just a lot of reflection. You know, after I graduated, I sat down, metaphorically, if that's a word, sat down with myself and I said, okay, what is it that you really want to do? And I had this business degree, so one would think, you know, well, you've got a business degree, you should do something in business. But then I thought to myself, ever since I was a kid, I mean, another thing that I forgot to mention in the beginning was I love movies. And when I have time, I like to watch different movies, both old and new. And it's one of those things where it looks magical, meaning it's so wonderful, especially if you're watching a good movie. For me, it inspires me, and it makes me think, gosh, that looks so cool, I want to do that. Right. So, you know, and as I said, I got started in theater. I was doing the community theater stuff. And so I thought, you know what? There's no real set plan for me right now, at least at the time I was graduating. Why not try the arts? I thought at the time I was 24. I'm 24 years old. I'm young. I have no other responsibilities. I mean, no girlfriend, not married, of course, no kids. So I thought, why not just take this opportunity to try something? Go out there, and I would say to myself, if it doesn't work, you always have that business degree to fall back on, and I can always go back to Chicago if I ever feel like I needed to go back. Because Chicago's always going to be there, or at least my home's always going to be there, you know. But
Right.
there are not many opportunities, or people are not given many opportunities to do what I was able to do. So I thought this is the chance to take advantage of that.
All right. Does anybody listening now have any questions for Matt while we have him on the line? Any questions about anything that he shared with us today, or any questions about figuring out your story? Anything? We'll just wait and see if any questions pop up. Sound good?
Sound good to me, yeah.
All right. And then I have a little bonus round of rapid fire questions that you're going to love very, very much.
Okay.
Don't worry, you'll pass this. If you've graduated Lake Forest College, you'll definitely be able to handle my rapid fire questions. Don't worry.
Oh, man. Okay, I'll do my best.
All right. Well, I know that questions may not always arise like at the current moment. So if you guys have any questions for myself or Matthew and anything that we covered today, please feel free to leave them in the comments below or send your thoughts to thecoffeechat@yahoo.com. Thecoffeechat@yahoo.com. Matthew and I will get back to you ASAP with answers to your questions. All right, Matt, you ready for the bonus round? You're the first guest I've had to go through the bonus round questions of rapid fire.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm honored. Thank you.
All right, you're one of my dear friends, so I'm like, I'm here, you're here. Let's pick your brain a little bit. Favorite old school movie, since you mentioned it. Old school.
Old school movie. Oh, Forrest Gump.
Ooh.
Seriously, it's been, gosh, what, 25 years now since that movie was made?
Yeah.
And it's still a classic. I mean, it's funny. I watched it, when was it? I think a few weeks ago. And it's still good. I mean, you look at movies today, and I feel like, and this is just me, what I've seen today can't measure up to what we remember about Forrest Gump. And a lot of us can relate to the characters in Forrest Gump. I know, especially me, you know, with my situation, my story. So yeah, I would say Forrest Gump.
Let's see. Favorite place that you've traveled to, or favorite place that you want to travel to?
Favorite place and favorite place I've traveled and favorite place I want to travel?
Yeah.
Okay, let me think. I've gone to so many places. Gosh. Favorite place that I've been to. Oh man. Oh, so many. I would say Vancouver, Canada. Was the best place I've been to. Yeah,
beautiful there.
I've been to Europe, and Europe is nice, but there was something about Vancouver. I was there 3 years ago, and I remember it was just beautiful areas. I have family friends that live on Vancouver Island, so I went to go see them, and I got a chance to spend time on Vancouver Island as well as Vancouver, like the city.
Yeah.
What I love is, first of all, the people are nice, which is great. But there are all these beautiful areas. There's so much to do. You know, if you're an outdoors person, you're going to love Vancouver. The province is BC, British Columbia. And it's interesting. When I was there, I remember having a conversation with somebody who would tell me that such and such movie was filmed here or there, because it is a large filming location. I believe Vancouver is the 4th or 5th largest filming location in the world outside of New York, LA, Toronto, and I think London. So it was really cool to hear that information. They told me, I think, 50 Shades of Grey and Twilight was filmed there. They had some other independent films that got selected for Oscars. I can't remember exactly, but I would say Vancouver for places I've been to. Places that I want to visit. Oh, man, I would say Cuba. I'd like to go there. Yeah, now that Castro's not around anymore, I'm sure it's going to change a lot of things there.
Yeah.
And that's one of the countries, the Caribbean countries, like, if I have the opportunity, I would love to go there just to, you know, talk to the people and, try the food and experience the music and all that kind of stuff. It's on my priority list for places to travel.
Okay. So with that said, Because I just took a trip to the mountains. I have to ask, mountains or the big city?
Uh, Probably big city. As much as I love the mountains, there's something about exploring a city that I don't know. It feels more. It's more exciting to me than it is checking out the mountains. But don't get me wrong, I love the mountains though.
They're beautiful. Like you can just get lost in them. It's so romantic and it's so just it's beautiful. It has its own magical romantic-esque feeling. All right.
Totally agree.
Yeah. All right. So last rapid fire question. Best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Best piece of advice I've ever been given. Oh, let me think here. Well, a lot of people have given me advice over the years, but I would say, let me think. My mom used to tell me, and this was an interesting thing. I remember she used to tell me as a kid, she would say, be prepared for people not to understand you. And what that means is, like, the way that I talk to you and I talk to other people is not the way that people talk, that the average person talks to other people, the average millennial, since I fall under the millennial category. So she said, be prepared for people not to understand you, which means that there are going to be times where you're going to say something, you're going to talk about something or meet someone, and they're not necessarily going to connect with you. Because basically not everyone is going to be your friend. There are nice people out there. There are people that will be your friend. However, there are others who won't relate to you or won't understand you. Hence why she told me, be prepared for people not to understand you.
I like that. It just shows that you have to be your own advocate, but yet never lose sight of your morals, your moral compass, and your drive and your vision and direction for your life.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Matt. It was an honor to have you. You're one of my dear, dear friends, and it's an honor to be with you and to be your friend and to say that you're one of my close friends. Thank you so much for being a part of Coffee Chat.
Thank you so much for having me. Looking forward to the next time.
Absolutely. We'll see you guys next time for Coffee Chat Live. Take care, everyone. Thank you, Matt. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Maggie. See you then.
See ya.